Wow, I think this is the worst episode I've ever done. Welcome to Setup Addicts episode number 5. I'm your host, Matt Philly, and today is a little bit different. Normally, I would stream these live on my Twitch channel at 1 p.m. Eastern every Saturday, but I was busy and I still wanted to get an episode out because I am going to be leaving for the week. So I thought, you know what? I'll record it off stream late at night, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I might not be as crazy or energetic, so don't mind that, but I wanted to get this done before I went to bed. So here we are. Now, let's not waste any time getting into the first setup of the day, submitted by Aaron, aka Aaron. He's 34 years old and very interesting because at first glance, you're like, oh yes, he's a sophisticated man. Look at him. Wow. And that right there probably costs a ton of money. But anyways, let's find out just how sophisticated. All right. So he's a physician who uses his setup for work. Okay. Now people normally say that, but in this situation, he actually does telemedicine video conferences. And because of that, you can't have that cringy RGB gamer vibe when he's like, what up, boys? It's your physician, Mr. Aaron, bro. Yo, wait, I got to sync up my Philip Hue, bro. So instead, he needs it to be professional. And that's what he, I would say, did a pretty good job at going for. Now, the other thing that we need to know about is when he's not working, he's gaming, he's watching YouTube, stuff like that. And he does actually have a TV setup over here, but he doesn't really use it that much anymore because he recently upgraded his living room where he does most of his TV watching and console gaming. Now, I really want to show you guys the living room because it is pretty freaking awesome, but let's first focus on this setup here. But I will say, realistically, this is very ideal. This is a nice little setup to have off to the side of your desk because you can still be using your setup and watch TV, watch the game, whatever is going on. So it's nice that you still have this set up. Now, he also wants suggestions on what to replace the candle with since, well, he can't really light it there. It's directly underneath his monitor, and you could probably assume what would happen if he was to do that. So he wants something because he has this here to cover up the main part of the cables, and then he has the echo, and he's like, yeah, I need something there, but I don't know what to actually put there. And he wants it to be somewhat functional. So if you guys have any comments, have any suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below. But anyways, I think as far as the desktop and really everything in terms of cable management, you did a great job. I mean, yes, the Signum is at full capacity, but people tend to do that. I think it's great. It is a very sophisticated 34-year-old physician vibe, awesome view, things like that. So as far as who you are, I think it's great for that, but I don't know the situation, if you could put more things up on the wall or whatnot, but I think even as a sophisticated person, maybe a pop of color or something to just kind of liven up the room a little bit would be nice because it does kind of give a sterile vibe. Although I will say, looking at this isn't far off from how most people have their setups, people that are maybe minimalists and things like that. So you're not far off from there, but I don't necessarily have too much to say because I'm not a 34-year-old man who does adult things. So maybe people in the comments will have more things to say, but for me, I think you kind of really nailed it. And there's not much more to do without kind of reaching that borderline RGB gamer vibe. So let us know in the comment section what you guys think, but here's his living room. This is super cool. Like, this is adult. It's just really cool. But again, here, I also think, yeah, maybe it's a little more fashionista and designer, but I think just pops of color or something to liven it up would be nice, except this right here kind of does it for me. Like, that right there is sick. So yeah, awesome place, Aaron. I really do like it. Guys, leave a comment down below with what you think he should do. Okay, next setup of the day is submitted by Patrick, who's 17, and he uses his setup for schoolwork, gaming, and watching YouTube. So basically what everybody does. Taking a look at this one, we only have 2 photos, but I think that's enough, right? Yeah, not really. But anyways, this setup, cable management, cool, great job. Buying stuff from IKEA, yeah, you did it, check. And putting as many things on the wall as possible. Check. Yeah, you definitely did that as well. This is another setup. I was not sure about if it should really be on the show or not. But it's hard because a lot of these submissions are just terrible photos. And so it leaves me like picking from these. Now, that's not me saying that Patrick's setup is bad, but let's again take a closer look. Monitor, keyboard, mouse, speakers, fake plant, lamp, IKEA desk, done. And then the generic racing gaming chair. That's to start a kid. That's how people make setups nowadays. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's very functional. It looks great. And that's a setup. A setup is a setup. And I think he did a great job with that. And he's got, stuff on display. And yeah, maybe all the posters and things aren't really like your cup of tea, but it's his place and he chose it, and great job with that. But I think you got to liven it up a little bit more. Really, sure, upgrading things will kind of take it to the next level. If you had more monitors, it would kind of... That's the problem too. A lot of people would see a setup with 3 monitors. Let's just say this exact setup, 3 monitors. People would be like, wow, that's freaking sweet. But then if they see it with 1, they're like, yeah, I don't know, kind of underwhelming, I don't know, not very nice. So I kind of find it funny how people can overlook certain factors of a setup just because, ooh, expensive this or multiple of this. So when you really break it down and you remove everything on the wall, it's just something anyone can buy. And I say this basically every episode, but I mean that. Do something that people can't buy. Like, oh, cool, like this is great, but I can also go on Amazon and buy this myself, which, by the way, setupaddicts.com/EP5 if you want to see a link to every product featured, including this little car 3D thingamajiggaroo. You like that? That's sweet. But really, I think kind of cleaning up the walls, getting some custom prints or whatever, keep it a little more. I mean, you're 17, you're not 14, you're not 13. This looks a little younger, in my opinion, which is odd because this part is sophisticated. Like, yes, I'm 17. I totally don't. I don't know. I don't have a 17-year-old joke. And then you have this, which looks like, I just bought GTA and I put the map on the wall. It's so sweet. Doesn't really fit. They're kind of clashing. So kind of balance out and make it yours. And I think you'll be doing great. Okay, next setup of the day, submitted by Austin. He's also 17, and he uses his setup for gaming, editing, and schoolwork. Now, kind of funny how things work, right? Because we just looked at this setup, and I was like, yes, this part is 17, this part is not. Well, Austin was like, listen, I am 14 at heart, and I'm going to stay 14. Maybe not even 14, maybe 12. That's what it kind of looks like. Swamp life, bro. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Look at this. What is he, a convenience store? Golly. Okay. Yeah. I don't really know where to begin with this one. I think there are a lot of issues, and I do think this setup reads as a younger person setup. And when I say younger, I don't even mean 17. I mean literally 12 years old. So at the end of the day, you got to just kind of rethink everything. The desk, yeah. Is that a desk? I don't know. Is it just pieces of like 2x4s slapped together? Yeah, it needs to be something completely different. Just throw that out. Find a desk that will completely transform your room. Now, taking everything off the wall and then painting to not that blue would be great. I think if you had a gray or something that kind of helps all of these posters pop and not clash would be nice. Like this thing right here kind of clashes, and it's a cool little thing. So I really think if you had a desk, the PC go on the floor, have everything kind of cleaned up a little bit, nice walls, and then you get the posters to actually look decent. And the other problem too is he has a 32-inch TV. It doesn't really look right because it's so small, and the posters just kind of make the TV get lost. So maybe even if you were to do this over, have the left side of your desk be the console setup. So you can have this, you can still have it wall mounted, but just have it lower right around here. We've seen it before. So you have gaming PC and then you have console setup. Really utilize the space, and then it also gives you a lot more free wall space to kind of even out what you have going on. And you got to condense. Condensing is key. Cleaning is also key. I think that goes without saying. Okay. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. And it may not even be good. It's okay. And that's all that really matters, I guess. Man, I'm sorry if this seems very boring because of the way I'm like talking low. I'm also like not super jumping off the wall. But anyways, let's move on to the next setup submitted by James. He's 15. He used Setup for gaming, schoolwork, and video editing. I feel like that's literally what every person is saying today. But this is crazy and exciting because this looks better than the previous two that we just saw. No offense to those people, but this kid's 15 and he's kind of like, look at me. I am sophisticated and on fire. Apparently, I don't know what's going on there. But the only thing I would maybe question is the blockage of the door. Now I can understand if you want to, skip class and never leave your house, that's fine. But to this extreme, might not be ideal. Of course, I'm kidding. I would assume this is some sort of closet or whatever the case is. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I feel like no matter what kind of door it actually is, you don't want to block it. But I don't know what the rest of his room looks like. And I don't even know if this is a bedroom or if it's part of a basement or something. I kind of see like spackle off on the side, and it kind of just gives me the vibe that it's not like a legitimate bedroom. It's more of like open space that you claimed. I don't know. But I will say, like, all of this surrounding stuff, it doesn't really fit how nice your desk setup actually is. Like, this is very nice. It's like, look at you did all the like, ooh, the easy access and clean, like cleanliness that you have going on. It is very simple, yeah, but it's also just really cool. And you have some nice stuff on display. I'm good with it. I think for a 15-year-old, this is nice. As long as the actual monitors are angled in enough for you, then that's great. And yeah, sure, they might mismatch, but I don't really think it's a big deal. I think you did a good job with it. And I like how you handled everything. I think your wire management is nice. And at the end of the day, it works. And it's way better than the last two. So there you go, James. You're great. Congratulations. Now, this next setup is submitted by Brian. He's 25 years old. He used Setup for gaming, browsing the internet, blowing paychecks on car parts, realty, and funding Jeff Bezos' plot to take over the world, which is something I think we're all doing. Anyways, this is his setup as of now, and he said it will drastically change in 6 months. Once his next setup and stream room are complete, he'll make sure to show us the transformation. And he also said the desk itself, if any of you guys are looking to build your own desk, Home Depot has high quality wood tops for about $100, and they're light years ahead of the IKEA countertops. Now, this is something I talked about before, but for real, if you're not actually going to go to IKEA and get the complete wood tabletop, then don't really go for like the Carlby or any of those, because they're not 100% wood. And unless the tabletop is like heavy as a bitch, then you're really not getting something that has that longevity. And so getting a solid piece of wood and staining it not only gives you that option of choosing the exact color palette, but it also gives you, one, a custom look because no one else is going to copy that. And also, two, it's going to last a long time and it's going to work. And plus it's solid wood, so you can drill things under it, you can mount things, and you don't have to be worried about it coming out, because if you get a Linmon, it's going to come out because it's paper. So anyways, taking a look at this setup, I think the desk came out very nice. Great stain. You can do a lot of cool things with stain. In this situation, he just stained it. You can coat it. You can, make it so it's safe to eat off of. If you want to use it as like butcher block, I don't know, go ahead. But this is a very nice little corner setup. Nothing too crazy going on. It's not like it didn't blow my pants off or anything, but it's also not like, ooh, whatever. It's like, oh yes, it's cool. It's nice. Good job. And then, yeah, he's got kind of like in the corner of his room. And what's nice here is he did like, here it makes sense because we could see his bed and we could see the TV. Normally we're like, I hope the TV is for his bed, but in this situation we can see it. And it's a little bit of a tight spot, but he'll probably get in his own place soon or something like that. So plus he actually said he's currently making stream rooms and stuff. So that will be interesting to see. And his cable management is nice, but I think we can all agree maybe a different kind of trash can, or maybe just like black bags or something, because this really is an eyesore. Maybe get a lid. I don't know. I just feel like that's one thing I would look into. Now, as far as the actual desktop itself, it did keep it pretty minimal. I would assume this is more so for like display, like, yeah, bruh, I got my stuff. Blah, blah, blah. So if that's the case, then yeah, sure. But I doubt he keeps it like that all the time. And then, yeah, you know, you got the fake plant, you got little knickknacks and little figures, and there's not much to say. This is another setup where it is simple. Am I a big fan of how these three things look on the wall? Not necessarily, because this is huge, and then you have this thing that's not framed and it's just kind of like taped to the wall. Then you have, you know, the calendar just kind of chilling there. So I don't know, it's like this could look a little bit better, but it's almost like, why do I critique it if you're just going to change it anyway? You know, you're about to redo new rooms, whatever. But I think it's interesting. It's cool. Great job. I don't know. I feel like this episode's so bad. I just don't really, I don't know. These setups are kind of giving me a hard time. I mean, this looks good because of this, but then I don't know. It's weird because it's not centered. And then like, I just feel like this triggers me because this is perfect. But then like all of a sudden, you're just, I don't know. This episode sucks. I'm so sorry. Let's go to the next setup. The final setup of the day, submitted by Drart, I believe, 35 years old. You set it for relaxing and gaming. And look at this. This right here is by far some of the coolest like carving stuff I've ever seen. And believe it or not, it's actually done by hand. Someone on Etsy does it, I believe. He sent me a link and I did put it onto setupaddicts.com/EP5. Go there and check it out. I looked at this dude's shop. There are some crazy things. Like, I don't know how you look at that. How do you do that? Like, that is insane. And this is something that I really need to look more into is Etsy. Really, Etsy seems to have so many cool things for setups that I never really thought of. And having something custom like this, like, I don't know if these are one-offs or if they're just like, you know, like a template that he does, you know, multiple times. Because I know on Etsy, there are some artists that do things like this, and that's a one-off. That's like, no one else can have that. And if that's the case, then that makes this 10 times cooler than I thought in the first place. So just there, the vibes alone, super cool. And I think it looks really good. It looks cool. Now, what's even better is the fact that the wall color is a little different. It's a little, I guess, teal-ish, bluish. I don't know the right color scheme, but it clashes so well with the warm lights, the wood tabletop. Like, ooh, I feel like this setup gives off vibes of like chill, comfort, relaxation. Everything is spaced out nicely. He's got another cool little thing over here. All these cool little lamps. Like, look at these, are really cool. I think these are also from Etsy, and I linked those as well. But it's just very simple. You got the plant. Yeah, maybe you could do more with it and things like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty cool. I don't really get this part of it, but I just think vibe wise, it's really cool, and adding more could maybe diminish that whole vibe. So at the end of the day, I think it is great. I think you did a good job, and the cable management is also perfect. Great job. You know, I guess this is so you can easy charge, nice little raceway here and things like this. Yeah, there's not much you can do with it, but you did everything perfectly. I think it's a really cool vibe. For most people, though, I will say they will think it's underwhelming, but the 23-year-old in me that wants to be sophisticated likes it. I feel like it is very different, and it's rare to see something different nowadays. Anyways, that is it for this episode. I'm sorry for the low keyness, the lack of energy, and maybe just the poor criticism. But at the end of the day, it's also up to you guys to leave some comments down below. Feedback wise, what was your favorite setup of the episode? Which was your least favorite? And what things would you do to make them better? Also, be sure to check out all of our social media. Submityoursetup.com if you want to be on the show. And then, of course, we're live every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, except for this Saturday and maybe next Saturday because I'm going to Disney World and I might not have time to prepare. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente.